I feel like going home for Thanksgiving is like clipping my own butterfly wings, and then like a butterfly clipping their wings, like hiding them, and then like hanging out with caterpillars and like eating what you used to eat. Yeah. Metaphorically, it's bad. It's like really tough.
Welcome to the Metamorphosis Project Podcast. I'm your host, Tenya Eickenberg, and this is a space where transformation begins. Welcome back to the Metamorphosis Project Podcast. I am your host, Tenya Eickenberg, and today I have with me Alan. Alan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I am so grateful to be here. You and I met, I think, 8 months or so ago, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And metamorphosis, I'm thinking of caterpillar into a butterfly and how the cocoon is painful. So I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So this podcast is all about hearing other people's stories and what they've gone through, how they got through it, and where they are today, having gone through those trials and tribulations. Mm-hmm. Every story is unique, but there are so many people out there who also go through those unique types of stories and really think that they're alone, really think that they can't possibly get through what they're going through because nobody possibly understands.
Yeah.
So take us to where, first of all, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into the story of how you got here.
So you make a good point already, which is I feel very grateful at this stage. I coach people. So who I am and what I do. I'm the CEO of Next Level University. It's a podcast, but it's also a business. It started out 11 years ago with a little company I called Alan Lazaros, LLC, what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. I saw two main problems in the world. I saw ignorance and apathy. So ignorance is you don't know any better, and apathy is you don't care enough. So I figured, okay, let's create an online platform that teaches people what they didn't learn in school. Because I was a straight A student and didn't learn anything about habits or vulnerability or courage or humility or virtue or character traits or personal development, self-improvement, personal growth. So that's really why I'm here. Mm-hmm. The thing that you mentioned about everyone goes through struggles, that becomes very clear as a coach. So I'm very grateful that that's what I do now, because I call it my magic number, 6,846 coaching sessions as of yesterday. I haven't updated it today. When you coach that many people from that many countries all over the world, all different industries, all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, you realize that struggle is universal to all humans. The extent of the trauma or struggles changes, but the principles there for everybody. So you're not alone, for sure. You're not the first one to go through it. You're not the last one to go through it. What I will say, though, is everyone has different fears. Everyone's fearful, but everyone has different fears. Everyone's insecure, but not everyone's insecure about the same thing. We can get into some of that, but that's kind of the way I would open.
That's awesome. And to have that many people under your belt that you've had an impact on in their lives is huge, because there was a time when none of this was on your radar in doing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, it's crazy to think back. So 11 years ago, I got in a car accident.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the second chance my dad never got, because my birth father died in a car when he was 28, when I was 2, 1991. And in 2015, it was December, and the snowbanks were covering the yield sign, and it was my fault. I was on the wrong side of the road, and I got hit by a lift-kitted pickup truck, 30 miles an hour, both cars totaled. But that was when I found personal growth, self-improvement, and personal development. And that's when I was like, okay, I've been playing this game wrong. I was an achiever. I was successful. I had the American dream. I did what I thought was optimal. I was an engineer, and, I went to one of the best schools in the world and all kinds of stuff, but I wasn't fulfilled. And so now, coaching, training, and podcasting all over the world with all different walks of life, it's been awesome to see. It becomes very clear. It does. No one fully gets life. Obviously, I'm not done. I'm only 37. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I when I go to Thanksgiving, for example, and we're talking around the table, it's very clear that they haven't coached people all over the world, because
Mm-hmm.
you just have so much insights to so many people and so many stories that you get such a sneak peek of. And you know what the most important piece of it is too? I didn't plan on saying this, but you get to see the behind the scenes of people's lives.
Yeah.
So you get to see
Yeah.
their Instagram and their real life, which
Right.
are not
Right.
the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, I mean, social media is a place to post what you want people to see.
Yeah,
Good or
100%.
bad. Good
Yep.
or bad, right? It's those who are posting their worries and what they're going through. They want that support of what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And those who are sharing all the good things, they want to celebrate
Mm-hmm.
what good is happening in their lives.
But you're right. It's always what they want you to see.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
entirely catered, and thinking otherwise would be naive. Yeah.
right, right. But coaching that many people, I would guess, gives you a different perspective into why people behave the way that they behave.
Oh, yeah. Favorite part of it.
You
Yep.
know, it gives you more empathy, I think, to be able to go, yeah, I can see why they are reacting or responding in the way that they are.
For me, it doesn't jump right to empathy. I think it's sadness first,
Okay.
uh, sometimes frustration, and then eventually I get to empathy. But for me, it typically is frustration. Like, what's a good example of that? So I coach business owners, 26 right now, actually. Some are like 4 times a week. Most of them are weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. But it's hard for me to not be frustrated with how little people understand about finance,
Mm,
or how little people understand about basic mathematics.
hmm.
But I'm an engineer, and so for me, that stuff always came very
Right,
naturally. So
right.
empathy isn't exactly right where I jump. Where I jump is, why didn't we learn this, and why don't you know this, and
Right.
then I turn frustration into fascination, fascination into transformation. That's why I love the transformation thing, the metamorphosis thing,
Yeah,
because me, I'm Alan version 3.7, 37 years old. I
right.
mean, 2.7 is leagues different, 1.7 even more different. So you can turn it around. You really can reconstruct yourself. You're not going to change your essence. You're not going to change your essence. I think your essence is there. You have to have self-awareness and self-acceptance, and then
Hmm.
self-improvement. I think
Right.
self-improvement sometimes starts with, I don't like this about myself, so I'm going to change it. And then you wise up eventually and go, all right, I can't really force myself to be extroverted.
Right.
So I'm going to accept that I'm introverted, and I'm going to do extroverted things anyways, because I feel called to do them. Right. But I don't have to
Right.
like it. And
Right.
so I think the wiser approach to transformation is self-awareness first, self-acceptance second, and
Hmm.
then self-improvement. Because just because you accept something doesn't mean you can't improve it.
Right. Do you think that people who are coming into that, and I don't know if this was true for you in the beginning, that you were afraid that you were going to lose who you were by improving yourself?
For me, it was more afraid of who I would lose. Relationships.
Oh, like your
Yeah.
outside circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That. Yep. For me, and again, I think that some people are afraid of failure, and I
Hmm.
think some people are afraid of success. I was the second one, because we all live in this sort of floor and ceiling of sorts of our peers.
Hmm.
So if you take they call this your reference group. So you're at a certain level in life. Let's say I'm 26, I get in that car accident. So I'm Alan version 2.6. I have my high school friends I brought to college, college friends to corporate, and I have that whole group of people that I grew up with, so to speak. If I go to the next level, are they going to abandon me? Am I going
Mm,
to be made fun of?
right.
Am I going to lose my friends? Because we're all climbing sort of a mountain, but some people get off at base camp 3,
Right.
and then you keep going. And for me, that was the hardest part of this journey. I think climbing comes naturally and easy to me, growth.
Hmm.
What is atrociously hard for me is, how do I sustain relationships with people that aren't really goal oriented? Because
Yeah.
without goals, you don't really have the necessity to grow.
Right.
And I always had big goals and dreams, and a lot of people don't. So I'm like, well, I have to keep climbing. So let me try to drag you up the mountain. Terrible
Drag is a
idea.
good word.
Yeah, that's the last time. I mean, in my 30s, I just decided this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
So I don't do that anymore. But I honestly
Trying to
think
drag
that,
all those people up the hill with you does not work
you
out very well,
know, it
does it?
terrible. It was so bad. I understand why nobody liked me. No, I'm kidding. But I gave up that. So for me, that was the hard part. Is people say it's lonely at the top, and it's not geographically or physically lonely at the top. Like
Yeah.
people seek you out. People want to be around people of value and of significance. Like I feel very sought after. I feel great. That's great. But intellectually, forget it. I mean, this is my metaphor, and I think you'll like this because of your show. And I said this 4 months ago on one of the podcasts that I do. I feel like going home for Thanksgiving is like clipping my own butterfly wings,
Mm-hmm.
and then like a butterfly clipping their wings, like hiding them, and then like hanging out with caterpillars and like eating what you used to
Right.
eat.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, it's bad. It's like really tough. Like I sitting around the Thanksgiving table, what are your goals and dreams for 2026? And what do you guys want to accomplish? And I'm just
Right.
like exhausting to people.
Yeah.
Right. And so this kind of stuff I love. I feel very welcomed here. But at Thanksgiving dinner, you forget it. I mean, I'm just like, oh my God, can we not talk about that? Why are we talking about that? That's so useless to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that point, is that when you grow and you start to gain all this new knowledge, you want to share it.
You want to so badly.
And especially when it's your family, you want them to receive it, and you want
Mm-hmm.
them to ask questions and be interested and have that conversation with you. And when you tell them, like when I first started telling my family, "Hey, I'm doing energy healing." And they were just like,
Nice.
"Okay."
Yeah. That's the end.
There,
The end of conversation.
right. There were no follow-up questions like, how does that work? Or what does
Yep.
that feel like? It was just like, okay.
Yeah.
It was like,
And then
what, you don't want to try
back to
it?
talking about some sports statistic,
Right.
or
Sports or
yeah.
celebrities, or, yeah, there's that point you get into your journey when you do have to say, okay, what do I have in common with this group of people anymore other than DNA?
Yeah. That is
And
the hardest part of the journey, hands down.
it
Hands
is, it
down.
is.
Yeah.
And
Go
I'm
ahead.
sure that you have found ways, as I have, to still be able to have conversations, but they're not at the level that pique our interest. And not to put, I mean, this is not putting our families subjects down or anything like that. It's just, this
Yeah.
is where we're coming from when we have something so exciting that we want to share,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no interest in coming back.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite things in the world. And obviously it's an uncomfortable conversation, but I'm at a point now where I have the courage and the candor to actually say it. Like, when you dedicate your life to reaching your full potential,
Mm-hmm.
you immediately are taking a road that people might talk about but aren't really doing.
Yeah.
I go to bed thinking about reaching my full potential. I wake up thinking about it, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual growth every single day, and kind of every second of every day, to be honest. And yeah, no, you're going to be, I mean, here's what I'll share with everybody. When I was 26 and I got that car accident, I was like, okay, I'm never again going to regret not reaching my full potential. Because that was my biggest regret. It was
Right.
like, if that was the end of my life, like it was for my father, I would regret not putting it all on the court. Because yeah, I was successful and I had lots of friends and a great social life and all that. But I wasn't even scratching the surface of my true potential. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I just dedicated my life to getting better every day. I used to say, #CanI, commitment to constant and never ending improvement. And I mean, I dialed that up to 15 out of 10. Like I'm talking every day, and still to this day,
Mm-hmm.
which can be exhausting for people. I understand. I was so naive that I'm not joking. I thought when I became a better man, I thought my social life would get better. I thought people would like me more. Tenya, that has been the most depressing thing about this growth journey is the better I actually become as a virtuous man, the less I am liked. It is like,
Mm.
it is so much worse than I ever could have imagined. And the reason why I think is because it can be exhausting for people who aren't maybe committed to growing every day. And
Mm-hmm.
I had an ex who said dating me was like dating a fucking stairmaster. And
Aw.
yeah, what she was being playful, but the truth
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
this is my tempo every day. This is me dialed down, Tina.
I
Like,
know.
every day. Like, let's go. So I have one of my clients calls me a big ball of drive.
You
And
are.
thank you. I mean, I think it's a compliment. Apparently, it's not.
It is absolutely a compliment. I mean, you are one of the few people I know who tend to hit every mark that they put out in front of them.
Thank you.
I mean, at
I
least from what I've noticed in, following you on social media and YouTube and
thank
taking
you.
a class with you and everything. You set that goal and you're like, there is nothing going to stop me from reaching this goal.
I
But
really
there
appreciate
are
it, Tina.
there
Thank you
are consequences
to that.
to good and
Socially.
bad, right?
Yeah.
So, and these are things that you are right now as 3.7,
Mhm.
you are okay with, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. And,
I,
Alan 5.0 might be ready for that social aspect. And you might have reached all the goals that you want to reach at that point and retire and things will change.
things will change. I doubt the drive will ever go.
The
But
drive can
Tina,
change.
even you saying that, I really appreciate it. I do. Thank
Yeah.
you. And what I want to give to your listeners is that is a really good thing inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
love waking up every morning and getting after it and achieving meaningful goals, climbing meaningful mountains. Like, I want to contribute and grow as much as possible. But socially, that is not normal. And so it's cool for you value that, Tina. I appreciate it. You value that, but you also have a podcast called Metamorphosis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're the weirdo of the weirdos.
I know.
So I appreciate that you value me, but just understand that that's not normal,
I
right? So
value everybody. I value everybody. Everybody has a place and everybody has things they can teach and pass on.
I concur. The thing that I hope everyone knows is that the metamorphosis piece is people will be pumped for you at the beginning.
Hmm.
Um, but the hardest part for me has been letting go of everyone
Yeah.
else's opinions about what I'm doing. And that is
Yeah.
going to be a challenge forever, I think. And particularly the people you love that you want to see flourish that
Yeah.
are just not flourishing. Like,
Yeah.
that makes me so sad. There are people that I love deeply that are just absolutely drugs, alcohol, cigarette. I mean, it is so hard to
Yeah.
see. And luckily that drives me too. So
Yeah.
I use that pain to drive me to try to lead by example more. So thank you, Tina. I appreciate it. And I doubt at 50 I will slow down, but we'll see.
Who knows? Who knows? That's still 13 years away.
Yes, it is.
A lot can change in 13 years.
Fair.
So you have come through this period of your life where you decided that you were going to go for the gusto. Like you were going to reach every goal that you put out in front of yourself. What is the 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 top, let's say, two or three things that really helped you to get to that point? Because it wasn't an overnight thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that it took you some time to figure out how you were going to do this until you found what was working for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
what were a few things that you did that helped you on this journey to becoming the man that you are today?
Well, the first one that comes up is the scientific method, which is just failing forward. Uh, we come into this world naked, scared, and ignorant, and we don't really know ourselves yet. I think we have an essence. And you go out in the world and you try stuff and you hit pain and failure. and then you get back up, go back to the drawing board, and then you try again. And so that's one thing that I will say is I'm such a believer in like constantly failing forward and going back to the drawing board. But I don't mean this just metaphorically. I mean this analytically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think wisdom is knowledge plus experience plus reflection. So you need all three of those. Knowledge is, let me study.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't become a great swimmer by just studying swimming. You have to get in the pool.
Right.
So knowledge plus experience, getting in the pool, learning, then getting in the pool. Then you reflect on your experience and you go, you know, I could really improve this or this.
Mm-hmm.
And so Alan version 3.7 understands himself, others, in the world much better than Alan version 2.7. And so when you understand yourself, others, in the world better, now you can make better decisions and then have more success. So I think that the scientific method is boring, but it's the basis of all progress. It's you have a hypothesis. Hey, I'm going to start a podcast. And then you give it a shot and it goes way worse than you hoped. If you're optimistic, if you're pessimistic, it might go better than you hoped. Right. I'm very optimistic. So it always goes worse than I hope. Worse than I think, right? It's like best case, worst case, most probable case. Kevin's pessimistic. I'm optimistic. So we balance each other out. He's worried that it's going to storm. I'm like, we're going to be fine. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to show up. And then I get devastated and he's like, wow, this turned out pretty great. That's my business partner. But that the scientific method is the first thing that came up, is just constantly failing forward. The problem is if you get embarrassed and you get judged and you get abandoned and you get villainized and you get attacked, and or you just get constantly failed bad results, you're going to stop. So I call it the success loop and the doom loop. So the success loop is you believe in something more, so you invest in it more, and then you get more results.
Right.
Which then makes you believe in it even more. The problem is you go into the doom loop, we all do, for short times.
Yep.
When you believe in something more, invest in something more, time, effort, money, and then you fail. It goes horribly wrong. Do you now go into the doom loop, which is believe less, invest less, get less?
You shouldn't.
You should, but if you do that, you get stuck there. That's being stuck.
Right. Yeah.
I believe less in my own future, so I invest less in my own future. So now I get a worse future, which then confirms my belief was right.
Right.
And so my job in coaching, more than anything, seriously, underneath everything I do, is like keeping people in the success loop. Even when they succeed. I have one client I was on with right before this, just achieved a lot of his dreams. I'm talking dream girl, dream body, dream place to live, like tropics. And I was like, dude, it took us years to build this momentum. Do not forget that. Like, we need to up the ante. Do not stop. Nothing. Coast mode means everything's either growing or dying. You can't coast. It's gonna start going. And he's young, so I'm like, don't rest. Cherish it. Keep the momentum. And he's like, I know. But that would be number two. Is number one is trial and error. Number two is stay in the success loop. You're better off believing in yourself and failing than you are not believing and not trying. Right. However, you will definitely stay safer and be embarrassed less, for sure. But you won't be fully living. And then the third one would be self-worth. So some people struggle with self-belief. Some people struggle with self-worth. We talked about that in the course that you were in. Group coaching. And self-belief is your belief in your ability to achieve something externally. I had that very high. Self-worth is your belief in your own value. And usually, not always, but usually self-worth comes from the way others treat you. Right. Particularly growing up. Yeah. In case anyone else had a tough, not so respectful childhood. It's a kind way to put it. Just in case, right? And then the other one is I say I'm going to do it. I prove to myself I do it. And then I self-assign it once I do it. And that's sort of premeditated, proactive achievement. And so you mentioned the goals, milestones in front of me. Like that comes naturally. The other piece, relationships and self-worth, never came naturally. And so I had to work on that piece, even though my tendency is just to achieve more.
I think self-worth is what 99% of humanity has to work on.
Yeah, 100%. I
So
think self-belief though, too.
that goes along with it.
A lot
Absolutely.
of people don't believe in themselves. That's
No, well,
been fascinating for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's, we're not taught to believe in ourselves. We're taught to believe in everybody else. And if we believe in ourselves, that's being conceited. And,
Hmm.
yeah. So we got to change that within the schools.
I was considered conceited. I still am. And it's like, so you're telling me that I'm arrogant if I say I'm going to do something and then do it?
That's what a
That's
lot of people,
arrogant?
yeah, that's what people say. Yeah.
That's wild. And I told Kev, isn't that just believing in yourself?
You would think.
And
You
by
would
the
think.
way, at what point does that not become arrogant? Like at 47, is it not arrogant when I've already proven it? Like, I think that's one of the things that you're absolutely right holds people back is you're not allowed to state what you're going to do in advance because
Right.
then you're arrogant.
Right.
So then you don't state it. Therefore, once you can't prove anything because you didn't state it in advance. So now you can't self-assign it. Hey, I did that.
Right.
And so that is something that do it inside of you, if not socially.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so naive. I did it socially. People thought I was so arrogant. And Kev said, but when you do it, they realize you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that has kind of
Right.
happened because
Right.
people, and I'll share this briefly. Tenya, I've had people who were so wildly mean to me in the beginning when I became a podcast. You're a
Mm-hmm.
podcaster now. You're a bodybuilder now, like all that.
Right.
And first year was tough. It's like, why would you ever do that? I can't believe you're such an idiot. All this stuff. And it's like, it's my life, bro. Relax, right? Like, okay. And then they come back later. I kid you not. Oh, I always believed in you. Oh, all right. One other thing. They come to you and they go, oh my God, you did it. And I'm like, why so surprised?
Right.
You obviously didn't believe me back then, right? I said I was going to do this, but that's my point is Kevin says this, everybody talks.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody talks. The thing is like, I don't say I'm going to do something without intending on actually doing it. At very least, giving it a shot. And I mean a real shot, like beat
Mm-hmm.
my head against the wall for years to figure it out. And Kev's like, that's you, man. Most people say things that don't even follow through.
Right.
And so when you get older, fortunately, some people see you as a little less arrogant because at least now you have something to show for it.
Yeah.
So that's been
I think,
nice.
yeah, I think most people when they say they don't believe that somebody's going to do something, it's more of like they couldn't do it.
Exactly.
And it's just their projection,
Yep.
which is not fair. But that's human nature, unfortunately.
Yes. I am
Al-
working on my acceptance of such.
yes.
Because with us, if people say, it's like, you got this.
Yeah.
You got this. Absolutely. You can do it. And then they don't. And then you realize later they really were just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too bad.
Yeah. Alan, thank you so much for coming on. And as we tie up this conversation, is there anything that you want the listeners to know or to hear that we did not touch on?
Transformation happens when you take on personal responsibility. So,
Absolutely. Accountability.
yeah. And what I find, there's so much outside your control. I understand. Same.
Mhm.
I mean, there are some things going on in the world right now that bother me so much, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
What I can do about it, though, is become a better man
Hmm.
and try to be a role model and try to lead by example.
Yeah.
So I take personal responsibility for my own future. And that means all the sacrifice and struggle that comes with that. I don't think going for an easy life is meaningful. I think going for a deeply meaningful, climbing meaningful mountains towards goals and dreams. Yeah, that's what I would end with is like, I don't know about all of you, but my dreams saved my life. And what I mean by that is I was in a toxic relationship where if I didn't have dreams, I might still be in that relationship. But because I had goals and dreams, I had to choose. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to achieve my dream and be with this woman. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to choose my dreams. And to me, without my dreams, I might still be stuck. And so I think having goals and dreams is like the most important thing, because if the best is in the past, you have nothing else to invest in, and you end up nihilistic and hopeless and helpless. And so that's not going to help anybody, including you. So that's what I would say, is take personal responsibility for your own future, despite how negative things appear in the world.
Absolutely. I love it. Alan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Tenya, for having me. It's been great. Great breath of fresh air. Thank you for anyone who listened, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Metamorphosis Project podcast. I hope today's episode brought you inspiration, joy, and a spark of empowerment. Remember, transformation is an incredible journey, and every single step you take towards self-care and healing brings you closer to the life you truly desire. If this episode uplifted you, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps us to share this journey of hope, resilience, and joy with many listeners. For more tips, support, and inspiration, come and visit us at designyourexistence.com. Until next time, keep growing, keep healing, and keep shining brightly. You are absolutely worth every bit of love and care you give to yourself. Take care, stay joyful, and be well.